Tawate, Stewan Hui, Andy G, Gozolales, Ida. Good evening, and we had a good day today, and may it all be well today. My name is Jeanette Cassa, and I'll try to do like the Navajos do. And my name is Jeanette Cassa, and this card Sri Ara Iyahajin Bunsti. The Iyahajin is very almost extinct now. There's just a few people there yet, but this card is probably extended out to the Navajo countries. But that's what I am. I have an outline here, and I'm gonna try to make it short. I'm not quite used to speaking out in public. I'm used to being on top of the mountains, looking for herbs, looking for plants, and naming the animals in Apache and birds out there for the education, the school. It says here that I'll talk about the past. Well, I was born in 1929, just when my father and my mother were beginning to realize that there is another world that they have to get in the train on. So, and my great-grandmother had been a prisoner of war, my paternal grandmother. She used to tell us stories about the prisons, and it was very sad out there. They were roaming in the mountains, but they came back. They were settled down into a valley. And from there, my father was born, and then I came in. Just when the tribal council, or in 1934, I was about 5 years old when they developed the Constitution. And the Constitution took place then, so it was developed. And the tribal council was called the administrators at first. And they advised people, they worked with the people real good, and they never sat and knowing that they have some letters yet that they have written, and it says there that it doesn't say I. The chairman doesn't say I, just he says these council, and then he signed his name last, while the councils, the district council signed their names first. So in those days, they prayed, and they got together and they prayed as they were developing the Constitution. I believe that's why it still holds today. Only about one or two was amended in 1954. But since I had gotten out of school, I've been with helping out the council all the time, and I felt that they were my relatives because I was an orphan. I had relatives in Mescalero, but there was quite a distance. So I grew up helping out the councils. In those days, the cultural principles they gave advices on that according to the principles of life and whatever. Those things are gone today when you look at it. They're gone. They're gone even in the English language. In those days, way back when Moses came, there was a law put forth, like the 10 Commandments. Do you ever stop to look at that? We had something like that. don't do this or don't do that, but do this. In the mornings when you got up, you started out with your right foot, your right hand. Whatever you were going to do, you were told to start with the right hand, your right foot, so everything may go well with you for the day. And they used to do that, and then they say, don't beg for things. Let it come to you, or hunt for it, work for it yourself, look for it. Like when our people were in the mountains those days, they looked for food. They were constantly scratching around for food or searching for food to eat, so they were busy during the day. The men were out hunting, the women were at home or roasting agaves or looking for nuts or whatever they can eat. So they were constantly busy, like the ants. And that kept them slim in those days. And the food that they ate kept them healthy because they were natural foods. So that's how their life was in those days. And as we became, when the Constitution came in, in those days we became the ward of the government. And then I went back to the reservation, and as soon as I got home, the council put me on the election committee. So I've been with that until 1990. And I have seen, in 1954, I have seen the two chairmen that were running shake hands when one of them won. There was no harsh words, no criticizing one another, but they shook hands, and that was good in 1954. After that, it got out of hand. So that's where we are at today. And the modern things that we learn, they take place. I'm not as good as what Andrew, but I do try to help anywhere, everywhere. You helped out. And your parents, your great-grandmother told you, if you help out, it will come back to you in 1,000 folds. That's what they taught us. If you are a leader, don't hoard everything. Give until you are the last one. Take the last one, or whatever you gave, you got the smaller one and gave the bigger one away. That does not exist anymore. There are a lot of words and teachings that have gone out of our lives everywhere, not just San Carlos. I believe it's with every tribe and even the modern world, the cities, everywhere. I had some experience. In the earlier days, in 1950s, the council decided that they needed to send people off the reservation to get work out there, to get on a job, find a job, and you were supposed to be out there and be educated. In other words, they told us be civilized, or assimilate with the public out there. So they sent us out. I have been there. I have been to San Jose, California, and I've been to Dallas, Texas, But one day I decided that I needed to come home. I didn't have very many relatives at home, but I don't know why I came home. But someone told me that maybe you were meant to go home and help out. So all this time I've been doing that. In 1990, when the NAGPRA came in, my partner here, Seth, came up to me when I had retired from teaching at Globe High School, the Apache language. And I had retired and I came home, and I was sitting there one morning. He came up to me and said, "Will you go to work with me?" I said, "I retired." He said, "Just for 18 months. And it has gone beyond that. So it's almost 10 years. 10 years is coming up. But I went to work with him. And we have worked on a lot we even worked with the University of Flagstaff with a science or something that was supposed to be taught in the school. And we're still on that, and we're working on place names, putting every Apache name on a place where the Apaches had been. So our map is just covered with black dots all over. And on the side there, because we couldn't put the whole name in there, we just put it on the side. So that's where I am, and the tribe today, the council today, like here, where they're here, I don't see any of my council members, or maybe they're a little jealous of me, I don't know. But they do work with us. They've, 1993, we presented a resolution. One reason we realized that we need a resolution to bring the Elders Council is that there are things, there are sacred things, there are traditions that are sacred. And we need permission from the elders in the community, the medicine men. So in order to work well with them, we presented the resolution and they approved it. So we've been working under that. And that's what we've been doing all this time. We do work with other companies like ADOT. We receive letters, but even from the ArcSites and the archaeologists, they come in. But now we have Renalda on board as an archaeologist, so we sent all those to her. And that's the reason why some other people haven't heard from us. But we're being called out everywhere. And today I would say that I need to take speech lessons. I'm not as well. I'd rather be out on the mountain. I'd rather be out there on the mountain. And we do take people out. We have our elders meeting, and you got to be patient with them. You have a meeting with them as a group like this, but you go over it again and visit them individually. There's one thing we don't know anymore too, and that is enduring things. The cold, the heat, and other things. We cannot sit still long enough. I noticed that in the children. So I try to bring these back. The other day, our children are not working much anymore too, so one forester has developed a thing where he can train the younger boys for the firefighters. So he asked me to come out there and talk to them. And I did, and I tried to think about what I should say, but their attention span is short, so I try to make it short. And I told them little stories. Like one day, the firefighters got on the bus. A long time ago in the 50s, the truck used to go up and down. And they would honk the horn, and then the men hears that, whether they're drinking or not, they go stand out there. Some of them were drunk. But they got on a truck, and they jumped on the truck because they were able-bodied men. They were men that knew how to work. So they got on the bus. When the truck brought them to the bus, they got on there. Well, they threw the bottle away. It was time to put that bottle away and go. They got on the bus until they got to wherever they were going. And when they got there, they fixed their bedding. And they went to sleep right away, as soon as they got there. And the next morning, they got up early and started work. They left the bottle behind, and the job was a job, and they went and did it. That's what I told the boys. It's time to put something away and get to work. There are a lot of other stories like that I told to the boys. But that's true about everything else. You people I listened to you talk, and you have brought everything out. Everything, and maybe somebody wrote it down, and everything that is needed as being a leader or working with the people. You brought everything else out and mentioned it. But there's one thing: when you become a leader, you kind of get tempted with things. And there's a little pull, maybe money, or maybe something, or maybe travel like this. You get tempted by that, and you spend more time out there, and the work is back there. And nobody mentioned that one. But remember, you have to think twice before you can make a move. Is it what's going to happen to me if I do this? There was one thing that I told the boys about. There was an elderly man that talked to us when I was working for the CAP office. He said at 25, he was telling us a story, and he said, when you're away, somebody calls you and say your wife is out there or your husband is out there doing this. And you think, is she really, or is she home? And it gets in your way in your work. Pretty soon it becomes a monster, and you rush home. And most likely you'll find your wife at home safe, doing all the work. That's what this old man told me, and that has been with me all this time. I thought about that. You'll get infatuated with someone at one time or other. But if you follow it, you're going to make a fool of yourself. You're going to lose everything, and you'll just be out there all alone. And that's what he said. And so I remembered that. And that's been with me all these years. I lost my husband to cancer 2 years ago, but that kept me straight. Things like that the elderly tell you. Another one was that he said he said something else. Stories like that. The my elders are full of that. Carlisle will tell you a lot of things. He goes and visits the community. He involves the community. He visits the people. So that's who we are, the elders. Today, we're going to try to, no matter how hard it is, we're going to try to bring in the students, the young boys that are dropouts. We're going to try to work with them. We're going to try to work with the councilmen. We already do advise them, but when a leader wants something real bad, he will persuade someone or persuade the group to go along with him. And how do you go about that? You have to sit down and think it out and try it. In getting it out there. So then that's what we're trying to do. And I don't know how long it's going to last. How long NAGPRA is going to last. We do a lot of things. My secretary is Seth Pilks. Yeah, we'll think about it, we'll say about it. But he's going to write it down. We'll tell him, and we'll read it over and say, this is not right. Sometimes he gets angry and writes his own words, but we tell him, don't do that. So he's our secretary, and he helps us. He's willing to help us, and he'll laugh and erase that out. So that's why he's with us. And he's a botanist, and I work with him. We have so many jobs. We've done a lot of ethnohistory with Carlotta Mines, Payson. Pretty soon we'll go into Arabipa, Winkleman. So that's what we're doing, and we'll be busy out there again. But you have to, we do need your help also in solving this problem about our leaders. How do we get them to work? How do we get them to listen? Will you listen to me? Will you remember what it said? Or will you just ignore it? I said to Andrew, I said, the chairs are empty. Go ahead and put me on. But that's what we live by. I mean, the wisdom of the elders. There are a lot of good things, what to do and what not to do. They used to say, don't envy someone because it's no good. There are a lot of sayings, and probably your tribe is like that also. And that's what we're trying to bring in and make it work with the modern things, the modern teachings. That's what we're trying to do. So I'm sorry that I'm just, like I said, I'm not used to making speech. But I can really holler and yell out there in the forest. Thank you.